Hey Internet, it's me. It's been a while since I've done a game video. Actually, that's not true. I've done a few, I just haven't posted them because they all came out crap. So if you want to know my feelings on Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, I think they're great. They did an amazing job taking a game that should have always been open world and making it open world. So yeah, love it. Also, my thoughts on Vampire Survivors, also great. It's like Gauntlet, but with tower defense, and then just a tiny bit of Castlevania sprinkled in there. So I'm a big fan. And then if you want to know my opinion on the 900 anime I've watched recently, that's actually a video I've been working on for at least a month. It'll come out eventually. It just takes very, very long to script and edit something so big. But none of those are what I'm here to do. I'm actually making this video right here, I hope. And it is about, as you saw in the title, Marvel's Midnight Suns. But first, I have to install the disc. Okay, so I've actually been looking forward to this game for a while, and that's why I want to do a blind playthrough. But I actually know very little about it. All I know is that you get to play as a lot of like Marvel's anti-heroes. You know, it's got Blade, and Ghost Rider, and Wolverine. Pretty sure Venom's in there. I think Deadpool is supposed to be in there, or at least is going to be a character later on or something. I don't know, but it looked really cool to me. I always like the anti-heroes more. I just feel like they have better stories and they're more compelling, so I figured a game based on them would be more fun. Plus, I mean, back in the day, it was a while, and there's been some really crappy games since then. But back in the day, Marvel had some amazing games with the, oh god, I forget what the X-Men versions were called. But like the Marvel Ultimate Alliance games were incredible. So I'm hoping this is more like that, where it goes back to just a really cool, unique story that ties all the characters together and gives you some good gameplay. So yeah, I'm hoping this is good. I'm going to give it a try, and we're going to find out together. Also, I did get the Legendary Edition, so it came with the Season Pass and some extra DLC stuff, so I don't know if what I'm playing with is available out of the box for most people. I installed everything before starting the game, so I'm not going to know the difference. But yeah, here we go. We'll see what happens. Also, my hair is a mess because I'm lazy. Okay, so what do we have here? Starting out weak with Crossbones. He's not really most compelling villain. I mean, he's fine, I guess, but I will say too, I don't know whether or not they're here. I mean, maybe they are, and I just wasn't told about it. But like, there's some other anti-heroes or just lesser-known heroes that I feel like Marvel needs to pay a lot more attention to. Scream, for example, or even her original hero form, Mania. I feel like she would be incredible in something like this, and she's very underutilized. So bringing her in and just getting to tell some new stories with a character that doesn't get a lot of time in the comics or at all in like the screen, that'd be really cool. Also, bringing Gambit in would be amazing for something like this. It still fits, you know, the anti-hero vibe. I feel like they have a lot more characters they could play with, and they really just stick to the main popular ones that everybody already knows. And the same for the villains, too, really. I mean, you know, like all the Spider-Man villains that we've seen a million times, they're great and all, but like, I don't know, bring in Fin Fang Foom. You know, bring in something really weird and obscure. Like, there's some cool directions it could go. Marvel has so many characters. There's so much out there. And they just don't do anything with so many of them, I feel like. So that was one of the things I appreciated. I'm just going to ramble while this intro is playing. Which, oh, I can skip it. Okay, we're going to do that. But when they did the Squirrel Girl versus the Marvel Universe comic, the writers purposefully wanted to tie in just a bunch of the lesser-known characters and just make it more interesting and fun. And I think Deadpool did that too for at least one of the Deadpool Kills the Marvel Universe comics. And it was really fun and interesting. I like that. I like taking the lesser known characters and giving them more attention. Basically, it's the James Gunn approach. But okay, I'm in the game now. Let me pay attention to this. Okay, so it's a card game. Playing card costs 1 card play, blah, blah, blah. I have 3 cards. Oh, no, I can play 3 cards. Okay, so, yeah, okay. Attack cards have an attack thing. I don't have enough heroism for that one, so I gain points every turn that I can use. Okay, so this is not dissimilar from other card-based games I've seen. That's fun, but am I going to have to see that animation every time? Or is it going to let me skip them? Because I think it's going to get like Pokemon, where the animations, the first few times you see them, they're really cool, you know, it's fun. But then after a while, you get sick of seeing the animations and you just want the action to happen. Okay, every kill gives me heroism. Damage every enemy. That's a great card. Let's go with that one. What do you know? The cards I got in this tutorial were exactly what I needed to kill the enemies. Weird how that worked. Once you've played your cards, press down to finish your turn. Well, the opponents are dead, so wouldn't my turn just end? Oh, reinforcements. Gotcha. Minions don't matter. Elites are bosses. Gotcha. Where are settings? Can I turn off battle animations? No. Okay. Well, that's crap. Yeah, because going back to what I was saying about, that's one of the issues with Pokemon is that when you play it, like actually this was an issue in Scarlet and Violet, and I was going to talk about it in the video I started making, and I couldn't, but you can't skip battle animations. So when you have battles in that game, you have to watch each move play out. And it gets very old very quick. You know, you don't get to keep like the fast pace of the game, because every time, you know, you're in a battle and you choose your commands, and then you have to sit there and watch the attack play out with whatever the slow animation is for your Pokemon. And then if you're doing the big, you know, Terra, Crystal, whatever the hell thing, you have to wait for that whole animation to play out, and there's so much extra crap you have to watch happen, and it's too much. It doesn't need to be there. It slows the game down. And I feel like that's how all the animations in this game are going to feel. Once again, whenever I spend too much time talking on camera, I start yawning because apparently, I don't know, my brain's broken or something. Uh-oh. Look at all these reinforcements. I'm surrounded. I'm gonna die. Okay. What is this? Give 20 block to an ally. Gee, I wonder if they want me to give some block to Strange over here. It's always weird too that they have different voices in the games. Like, I know they have to, you know, they're not going to pull in, especially with the MCU having so many famous people in it. But you're not going to pull in all those big names just for a video game. Like, that would be ridiculous. But it is still just weird because you get so used to those voices from the movies that when you hear the games, like, it just sounds off. You can see the character models, too, aren't quite the same. Like, Strange here is clearly not Benedict Cumberbatch. So it's odd seeing new character models and hearing different voices. Because at this point it's been, what, 13 years that we've had the MCU? Like, a lot of these characters we're all pretty used to now, so it's odd getting the different everything in it.
2 hours later.
Sorry, I can only ramble so much during these tutorials. Once we get into the game proper, I'm sure I'll have more to say. Or once I think of more comic book stuff that I want to add commentary to, then I will do that. I will say though, that's the other thing that's really a shame about not getting the more obscure characters in like Marvel games or even some of the shows and movies, is that like the main characters we see the most out of Marvel are also kind of the most uninteresting. Like Hulk is kind of boring. Even Spider-Man's kind of boring. It's not quite on the same level as like DC, where all their heroes are just one-dimensional, absolute bores. But they still, the ones that seem the most popular are the ones that are the most cliche. Like they have the lamest story to tell. Whereas you have one like Mania and later Scream, who, you know, she's cursed by effectively the devil, and then becomes infected with the alien symbiote, and then uses it to try and help fight off and get rid of the curse. And like, it's just way more interesting and cool. Like that's a more fun story than when I get angry I become strong and invincible. Like, you know, that's lame. Or even Gambit, you know, he can charge any object he holds with kinetic energy, but he's also a master thief and just a very charismatic, smooth-talking, you know, member of the Bayou. Member's not the right word, but you know what I mean? Like, he's just a more interesting character. You know, Iron Man is basically the same as Batman, where I'm a genius and I'm rich and I just have all the resources in the world, so I buy cool gadgets or pay someone to build them, or build them myself because I'm also super smart. Like, it's just, I don't know, it's kind of lame storytelling. I mean, you know, Squirrel Girl's more interesting. She has the power of a human, but also the power of a squirrel. How is that not interesting and cool? And then I know everyone hated it in the show, but She-Hulk, with her, you know, awareness of her audience, the whole fourth wall breaking thing, I think that's super fun. I should have thrown that thing. I didn't throw it. But like, yeah, there's a lot of interesting stuff out there in the MCU. They just ignore them a lot of time, which I think is kind of disappointing. I can't. I don't want to redraw the card. I just want to save it for next turn. Okay, fine. I'll attack with Emass Ms. Marvel. I like that the Hydra units here just shouted to each other, move back, and then they ran forward toward my group, letting one of them flank behind them. So that was kind of daft. Okay. I must move and kick the couch first? Okay. I will move and kick the couch first. How do I move? Didn't actually read the thing. So I just... Oh. Okay. I'm trying to. You don't have to spoon feed me everything. Just tell me that kicking an item will do the thing, and then let me figure out on my own to do it. That's another complaint I have about modern games, because apparently this is just going to be my commentary on all things video game. I feel like they spoon feed way too many things to you in games now. Like that couch thing I just did, for example. If they just would have said, you know, you can move and interact with your environment, I would have figured out on my own that, hey, this couch that all these enemies are grouped around, that's probably something I can interact with and hurt them with. And if I didn't figure it out, then it would be to my detriment, and I would just not do as well that turn. But that's fine. Like, I don't I'm allowed to suck at the game. If I don't pay attention and I don't figure things out, let that be on me. Don't force me to learn it, basically, is my point. Like, let it be up to me whether or not I want to do well in the game. I wish more games would kind of give you that option. I mean, I guess Dark Souls gives you that option. They absolutely let you suck in that game, but that game also kind of sucks, because I don't need that much of a challenge. My games are supposed to be fun, not infuriating. See, look, I'm learning how things work. I figured out all on my own that I can move and reposition, and therefore, I can hit more people with this beam. How is there not an achievement for a triple kill? I just want to throw that out there, that I killed 3 people with 1 move. That should be an achievement. That was pretty kick-ass of me. And you know what? On the topic of achievements, because I was just having this conversation online recently. And actually, oddly enough, the creator of, or maybe just the guy that runs it, I don't know, but someone involved with RetroArch, or Retro Achievements, one of the two. I think it was RetroArch entirely. But he actually chimed into the conversation, rolled the tangents back. My opinion is achievements basically should just be for the person playing. It should be for you to, you know, enjoy the game and have fun with it. So if you're in a situation with like Skyrim, where you want to download mods to give yourself a bottomless backpack to carry everything, or you want to add in, you know, a dungeon from Hyrule and the Master Sword, or whatever you want to do, that should not disable achievements. It's a single-player game. The achievements really, in all actuality, do nothing. They serve no purpose. They're not monetizable. They're not anything. So why would they have to be disabled when you're using mods or cheats or whatever? It doesn't make sense. If I want to enjoy the game that way, but I also want to have these achievements as like goalposts for myself, just as a personal motivator to play the game more, why wouldn't I have that option? And actually, yeah, the guy agreed with me, which I thought was really cool. But yeah, I think a lot of people now use achievements as some weird bragging right leaderboard, like, haha, I'm better than you, and they just kind of gatekeep the way you have to enjoy games, or you have to use achievements, and it's weird to me. If people want to enjoy them as just a way to enhance your game, then let them. Like, what's wrong with that? Oh, but I got an achievement for playing the tutorial. I feel like the triple kill is way more impressive than doing the mandatory start of the game.
The fabric of magic is unwinding. We are fortunate to be here at all.
And where is here exactly?
That's another thing, too. I do like when achievements are tied to the story, but a lot of times that first one you get should not be there. Like, starting the game does not take any skill. Beating the first boss? Yes. Turning the game on? No. Is that magic?
Wait, it's that jerk from TV.
It is. Hell yeah. Does that mean Lockheed's here?
Now, if everyone will just take a moment.
Or is this the universe where Lockheed belongs to Kitty Pryde?
You're standing on my
Also,
flowers.
that was the younger Ghost Rider, not the
If I could have avoided this moment, I would.
not the Daredevil one. It's the other one.
I know.
I'm so bad at the names. I don't care about this story either. Okay, so this, I definitely am going with the female. Yeah, pro tip, if you're ever playing a video game and they give you the option to be a male or a female character, always go with the female. They always have better voice actors. Case in point, Assassin's Creed Odyssey. If you didn't pick Cassandra, you did the game wrong. And Ubisoft has even said that Cassandra is the canon character for that story arc. And they proved it because in Valhalla, there's a crossover event with the previous game, and the character you interact with is Cassandra. So, yeah. What I'm saying is, always pick the female. If you're gonna have the better voice actor. I don't know why. They just... And I know I'm gonna get in trouble with people who are big into animation or whatever here, but, like, female voice actors are just better. Like, take Brizzy Voices on YouTube, for example. She's amazing. She can do just a bunch of different voices, and she can really put attitude in them and give them great life and personality. Whereas Brian Hall, who I'm also a huge fan of, this is not a knock at all, like, I don't want to sound crappy here, but, like, his... I don't know, a lot of his maybe not even a lot, but some of his imitations are just, they seem kind of flat, maybe lifeless a little, like they could be more. They could, it feels like he's doing a voice, and he's doing the voice perfectly, and that's not a problem, but he doesn't come across as being that character. He's just someone that sounds like him. Like, I can do a fairly decent Stitch impression. But half the time, when I do it, I just say the lines from the movie. You know, the Crystal! And that's fine and all, but that's just doing the voice. You know, but if I were to just go off into a line of dialogue, like, Squirrel Girl is greater than Moon Girl, or whatever, and I kind of lost the voice when I did that, but, like, you can... If you can make the character say other things and just break the mold and use them in a new way, it sounds more like the actual character. Where if you're just doing the voice, you just sound like an imitator. Like if you're just reading lines that have been said before, it's not much of an impression, it's an imitation, and that's the difference. And this was another little, kind of got side topics there. But, yeah, basically what I'm saying is, female voice actors are the better ones in video games. Apparently, this is not a review of this game at all. This is just going to be me ranting about everything except this game. Let me stroke his ego a little. You seem to know a lot about me.
You appear quite versed in my history, Dampier.
Heard my fair share of stories from characters.
You know, I'm just going to talk more. I don't know how I feel about the Blade recasts. Like, I know that Snipes was a bit of a bitch with the third movie and was causing drama with the director because they didn't get along, blah, blah, blah. But he also went to prison for a while. So, I feel like, you know, maybe he would have been brought back down to earth a little and his ego would have been tampered a bit. So, I feel like they could have brought him back as Blade. Although, I have hope, because there's rumors floating around, and I think the rumors come from Feige, that with the new Avengers movies, the second of the two, it basically sounds like he wants to do for that movie what the WB has done, or the CW rather, has done with all of their DC show crossover events, where they bring in not just the other CW shows, but actors from other DC properties. You know, they brought in some of the old Batman actors from the old movies, or they brought in, like, the characters from Titans, or Doom Patrol. You know, they even tied in Lucifer. Like, they just really, they went for it. If there was anything DC related ever, they were going to find a way to tie it into this crossover event. And it sounds like Marvel is going to do that with the Avengers movie, the next ones. Not the next one we get, but the one after that. And, oh my god, there's so many ways that could go with that. You know, we could get Nicolas Cage as Ghost Rider again. We could get Snipes as Blade. We could get some of the really old, really terrible Marvel TV shows in there. You know, you could get the voice actors from Into the Spider-Verse in there as their spider personas. There's so many ways they could go. Even the people that did the voice acting for Marvel Rising could come in, and we could get, you know, Squirrel Girl and that iteration of Miss Marvel. We could get Quake from the supposedly not canon, but in my heart it's always canon, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. We could get Black Bolt, which I know we already got in Doctor Strange, but we could get him again in there, as well as, the rest of the Inhumans. For that matter, Cloak and Dagger, which was an amazing show, did not get enough credit. I would love to see those characters cross over. Like, there's just so much they could do. So I'm psyched for that movie. Like, I know it's still years out, and we still have, like, another 2.5 phases to get through, but I'm excited for when we get to that point. I think that could be really cool. I think they can have a lot of fun with that. And since we have the multiverse, they could bring back the characters they killed, and I'm sure at some point they will. It's been already teased and floated around the internet that RDJ is going to come back as Tony Stark in some capacity. They could probably bring back, Johansson and all these other people. But I'm more interested to see people from non-MCU properties come into the MCU. I mean, think of how amazing the third Spider-Man was, and seeing all those characters again. Like seeing Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire come in as their versions of Spider-Man. Like, that's the most fun for me. That's what I want. Robbie Reyes. There we go. That's the new Ghost Rider. Who is Nico? I don't know that character. I probably should. I know Magic.
That's Ileana. Wait. And I think
I
you're
don't know who she is.
Of course.
I read a lot of the Marvel comics. I probably should know who she is, but I don't offhand. It's going to bother me. I dig her style, though.
welcome home. I guess we.
Was that a Wonder Woman pin on her jacket?
Right.
Whoever that character is, the one with the mohawk and leather jacket, she had a pin on there, and it looks like the Wonder Woman W. I hope it was. That would be so hysterical if they just put that in there. Like, if they just decided, yeah, we're gonna be cheeky and we're gonna acknowledge DC and we're just gonna put this in here. Like, that would be funny to me.
For a haunted transient castle raised on the cursed grounds of Old Salem, it's pretty cozy. Of course, that doesn't stop us from adding some.
No, I haven't seen too much online about this game because I purposefully, haven't been reading much about it. But I did see someone mention that basically, like, in between your battles or your quests or whatever, you hang out in this house and you, like, go on dates effectively with these characters. You, like, you go get a beer with them, or you go hang out in the library or wander the garden or whatever the stuff is, and I think it's so weird to, like, basically work in a little bit of Persona, where in between the action you have almost like a visual novel, like, romance aspect to things. Like, that's just really funny to me, where you're gonna, like, try to build up your relationships with these people and do all this stuff. I don't know, I find that hysterical. Just because of the nature of superheroes, everything they're doing is always supposed to be so high stakes and so important. And yet, in the middle of that, I'm going to go shoot pool with Wolverine, or, watch a movie with Blade. Like, that's just, I don't know, that's hysterical to me. And Devil Dinosaur. I want him. Also, Red Wolf, who we're never going to see again because it was very racist. He was a character that he was Native American, and of course, it was that same trope where, hey, we have a Native American character, therefore he has to possess magic powers because, as you all know, Native Americans, much like elves, dwarves, and leprechauns and the like, are magical creatures and not real human beings with actual history and culture and lives. And so that comic and that character will never be seen again, I'm sure. But it actually was kind of a cool comic. Again, I know it's racist, I know it's bad, the character was interesting, the comic was fun. So if they could find a way to redo him and not be so shitty and racist about it, it would be interesting to see him show up. Yeah, I don't know, I think it'd be fun. Like I said, obviously they have to redo a lot of aspects, but it could be cool. I mean, we did get the spirit walking magical Native American mutant in the New Mutants movie. So, you know, it's something that can be done. You can do it. You just
Agatha can help.
have to do it right. Definitely cast an actual Native American, first of all. Like, don't... We should really cast these characters with people that actually fit their background. Don't get me wrong, Tilda Swinton is the Ancient One. Loved it, mostly because I just love Tilda Swinton. Definitely up there in my celebrity crush list. But, like, it probably would have been better if they casted an actual Asian person there and not a white lady. But, you know, whatever. Like, it still came out good. But if you want proper representation and you want people to take it more seriously and you want to be able to say that you're being inclusive and whatnot, then cast these people properly.
Then let us make haste, Dr. Spooky. Our hunt
Plus,
begins now.
well, I was going to say people on the internet won't complain as much, but yes, they will. They'll always complain. But I do think there will be less complaints, or at least less valid ones, if the characters you include weren't shifted to fit some sort of identity, but instead just already had those. Like, if you include a character that is gay in the comics, in the source material, or you include a character that is black, that's fine. Like, that's cool, because that character is always like that. You didn't change anything, you just added them to the roster of the MCU. Whereas if you take a character, and like some people were saying, you know, Captain America and Bucky should be a couple. If you take a character that's always been straight and you make him gay, you're going to annoy the fans of the comics because you're changing a character that they like. Whether or not it's a meaningful change doesn't matter. It's a change, and people don't like change. And also, the people you're supposed to be representing, in this case the LGBT, they're not really going to be super impressed because you're not even really representing them. You're not giving them a character. You're, as an afterthought, kind of tweaking a character to make it seem like it represents them. Like, oh yeah, no, Cap is totally gay. See, we know you guys exist. That doesn't count. That's not good representation, and it's also not staying true to the comics. So you're basically just disappointing everyone. Whereas if you just include a gay superhero, then it's fine. Like, they were always gay, so you didn't change anything by making them gay. Everything's just the way it always was. So a lot of people will be fine with that. Like I said, there's always going to be some idiots on the internet like, oh, how dare you include a gay person, blah, blah, blah. But those people don't matter. Their opinions are stupid, and they're stupid, and no one should listen to what they say. I don't know why this is such a soapboxy review. Maybe this is why I haven't put out a video in a while, because they all come across as me just talking about everything and not the game at all. To be fair, I've also been ignoring the entirety of the story. It looks like there's an evil wizard, Lilith, and this hunter helped put her away. Lilith returned, and so Magic, or not Magic, the old lady and Strange here, and then that mutant whose name I don't know, they helped revive the hunter, and now she's going to help this group of heroes fight Lilith again. And that's all well and good, but when do I get the Punisher? Because I want to shoot people. I don't think the Punisher is actually in here, but that's another one that should be. He's a really cool anti-hero. For the first time as Sorcerer Supreme, I cannot foresee how the future unfolds. Blah, 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 blah. Don't worry, Doc. We'll save your home. We got this. Positivity. Power of friendship. Mr. Brooks. Is Blade's name Brooks? Is it Mel? I hope it's Mel Brooks. That's canon in my head now. Blade's real name is Mel Brooks. It's weird. I know a lot of the characters' names, but Blade, I don't know. I always knew him as Blade. Like, he didn't have a normal name. He was just Blade. Like, he just had the single moniker there. Like, I know, like, Scream, or Mania, Andy Benton. Hulk, Bruce Banner, you know, like, you know the names of a lot of these characters. But, yeah, I don't know. Blade has always just been Blade. Okay, if we're going to the other realm, Also, by the way, digging the classic X-Men with the leotard. That's cool. How are you gonna play epic music and do the big X and not work in the X-Men soundtrack? Like, come on.
Any more questions?
That's the music we want to hear. You know it is. What are you doing? And where's Lockheed, damn it?
You are standing in limbo. You are standing in limbo. Nexus of all reality. Oh, nexus of all reality. Both real
You know,
or otherwise.
if this is the nexus of all realities, you don't have to say they're real or otherwise. Like, if it's a reality, it's real. And that's the whole point of the multiverse is there's infinite realities. Everything is real somewhere. Like, not to get on a diatribe about quantum theory, because I've had way too many diatribes already, but, like,
All these potentialities
that's what
converging at
the
once.
multiverse is. That's what multiple realities do, is every time there's a choice, or every time there's something could be different, it is in another reality. So, you know, there's a reality where humans did not evolve into humans, but instead into, like, serpentine creatures, and we're all reptilians. And, you know, there's a universe where we only have 2 dimensions and we all look like cartoon characters. Like, those things are all true and real in another universe somewhere. If you follow the multiverse theory, obviously. I'm not saying for fact that is a thing, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, so it's weird for her to add the caveat that, oh, all these realities are real or not. Like, first of all, real isn't the word reality. You don't have to say that. It's redundant as well as stupid. I mean, it was great to put in the I'm walking here thing, but y'all really aren't fazed that I just walked through a portal? Like, how did none of you know or care about that? Are you kidding me? But you're a little disturbed that that guy has fangs? Like, come on. Although, this is the MCU, so you already saw the Battle of New York and all these other things. Can't imagine a guy with fangs or a portal is that crazy. Is Blade in New York? For that matter, is any character in the MCU not in New York? I did always think that was funny that, like, I think I've talked about this before, in fact, I know I have, but I always thought it was weird that now that Disney owns everything, in Kingdom Hearts, I don't know why we never got New York as a world, because, like, there's so much is in New York. Like, we could have got Gargoyles would be in New York, Spider-Man and the Avengers and the Defenders, those are all New York. There's so much they could do in New York. The movie Enchanted, also in New York. They could just play with that world so many ways, and they haven't. They haven't utilized that at all. I don't know why. They really, really should. Instead, we got, you know, the Toy Story world. And the Little Mermaid DDR, or whatever the hell that thing was. Okay, so let me talk about the game itself. I obviously haven't gotten to the part where I go on dates with superheroes yet, which is disappointing because that sounds like the coolest visual novel game ever. But I don't dislike the battle system. I wasn't sure, with it being another card game, how it was going to feel. But, I don't know, I kind of dig this. I like that there's always, you know, the goal of interacting with everything around you. I like that you can do stuff like this and interact with the environment. Why can I not perform that action? Alright, what's hell with you then? I like that the cards make everything random. So you don't... Like, you're not just going to power up your heroes and just be completely OP. There's always going to be a little bit of chance and a little bit of strategy. Because you're going to have these random decks of cards, and you have to kind of try and see what's going to be my best option here. You know, how can I best make this work? But yeah, the battle's interesting enough. I mean, the graphics all look good, especially considering what it is. Like, I feel like they could have cheaped out a little more and no one would have been too surprised, but they didn't. It looks fairly decent. Nothing good at all in my hand. Oh, there we go. Now I can play these other cards. What is this? So I can weaken all my enemies. Let's steal their life. Yeah, let's do that. That'll be fun. Let's murder some guys. I like how he landed and stakes the ground in front of the guy. He didn't actually stake the guy. He just, like, I don't know, killed him via blowback or something. Yeah, so overall, so far, the game is fun enough. I like this battle system. I think it's interesting. And when I'm paying more attention to the story, I'm sure it'll be okay. I don't hate it so far. It seems like they're doing an original story. I mean, obviously the Hunter was created just for this, so that part's original. Like, the heroes are all real heroes that are in the comics. But, yeah, it could be interesting enough. I'm digging it so far, from what little bit I've actually paid attention to and not talked over. So yeah, let's go with that. I dig it. Y'all might dig it too. So, give it a go. Or don't. I'm not your mom. Do what you want. Okay, yeah. So far, I dig it. It looks fun. I'm into it. I'm enjoying it. So yeah, let's go with that. You should give it a go. If you like Marvel-y stuff, then this looks like it'll be fun. The combat is interesting enough. The story seems like it's going to be decent. And I do like that the array of characters is a bit varied. You know, it's not just the main heroes that we have in the MCU. There's some other ones here that haven't shown up. Like, you know, we have Magic, who I guess technically was in New Mutants, but no one counts that anyway. We've got Blade, who isn't in the MCU yet. We've got one of the Ghost Riders. So, yeah, it's cool. It lets you play with some anti-heroes and just some folks that you don't see as much. And, yeah, I'm digging it. I think it's good. I'm looking forward to going on dates with superheroes, which is a weird thing to say, but, yeah, I think it's good. So, that's my review. Check it out. And I'm going to go now, because it's actually late at night, and I should probably go to sleep. I'm not going to. I'm going to play this for another hour, but I should go to sleep. So, good night.